Everyone I know loves binge-watching the amazing episodes of Peppa Pig. But have you ever noticed that there are several things in the world of this pink little piggy that simply don't make any sense? Friends or enemies? Let's start by talking about how animals coexist in Peppa's world. It all seems normal, right? The animals live like humans. They have jobs, go to school, and hang out with friends. But some interactions raise questions. Do they really get along so well? In the zoo episode, for instance, Madame Gazelle, who always seems confident and calm, gets a big scare when a lion, the zoo guard, shows up to greet them. Just look at her terrified expression. If the coexistence between species was so harmonious, why did she react like that? And it doesn't stop there. When she finally tries to relax, another character appears, a crocodile lady, emerging straight out of the water. And guess what? Poor Gazelle gets scared again. To top it off, there's a scene where the kids are excited to see more attractions at the zoo. Peppa points at a giraffe thinking it's part of the display, but it's actually just another zoo employee. And his son Gerald is on the field trip with Peppa's class. What's going on? This is way too confusing. This is just the first of 13 things that don't make sense in Peppa Pig that we'll show you now. Let's explore these oddities together, and you'll see just how bizarre this world really is. Once again, welcome to Peppa Pig's world. Where are the humans? Speaking of coexistence, there's something even more intriguing in Peppa's world that's probably the show's biggest mystery. Where are all the humans in this pink piggies universe? Sure, we know a few humans show up now and then, like the Queen of England, the pirate, and Santa Claus, who despite being a magical figure, is still human. But where's the rest of humanity? Where are the billions of humans on Earth? This leads us to some theories. It's possible that humans simply vanished, leaving the world to animals who evolved, became more intelligent, and adopted human behaviors. Or perhaps there was a revolution where the animals decided to expel humans from their country, and now they live somewhere else we haven't seen yet. Or worse, were humans eliminated? And when I say eliminated, I'm sure you know exactly what I mean. Well, we know Peppa and her family wouldn't do that, right? But this mystery remains unsolved. Super Potato. Now let's talk about the most beloved character in this crazy universe, Super Potato. He's the hero of Peppa and her friends, and everyone loves his show. No doubt about it. Super Potato's main message is to encourage kids to eat fruits and vegetables. Fruits and vegetables keep us alive. Remember to eat them every day. Great advice, right? But there's a problem. Super Potato himself is a talking vegetable. In Peppa's world, where vegetables have their own personalities, it's a bit confusing to understand whether kids should eat veggies like potatoes or befriend them. In the musical show featuring Super Potato, there's even an animated carrot. So if you think about it, does that mean when Mr. Potato eats vegetables, he's essentially committing cannibalism in this universe? This makes no sense at all. Earthquakes. And now let's talk about something that's at least funny, but also very odd. The tremors that occur in the series. Have you noticed that when Daddy Pig walks, the ground shakes as if there's a small earthquake? It's so random, right? And what's even weirder is that no one in the show ever mentions it, as if it's completely normal. Someone needs to tell Peppa and her family this makes no sense. And it gets even stranger because it's not like he's much bigger or heavier than the other characters. Why is he the only one causing these tremors? This mystery remains unsolved to this day. And that's just the beginning. There are still so many things in Peppa's world that will leave you speechless. Stay with us to uncover more mysteries. If you love Peppa and think this video is fun, comment pink below in honor of our beloved piggy. A prison-like zoo. Speaking of mysteries, the zoo episode raises a lot of questions. We already know that animals in Peppa's universe live like humans. They have jobs, houses, and even go to school. So how does it make sense for them to visit a zoo? In this episode, Madame Gazelle organizes a field trip for the students, and their destination is a place where other animals are kept in captivity. That doesn't seem right, does it? Are the zoo animals considered inferior or being punished in this universe? Or maybe they just don't have the same rights as the other animals? It's all very strange and, at the very least, uncomfortable to think about. Identical bodies. Speaking of Daddy Pig, it's impossible not to notice that his body looks very similar to other adult male characters in town. It's almost as if the animators got lazy and just copy-pasted the same body model for all the adult males, only changing details like clothes or accessories. But this only makes the earthquake mystery even harder to explain. If all the dads in the series are practically the same size, why is Daddy Pig the only one who makes the ground shake when he walks? What did he eat for breakfast? That's the real question. Strange behavior. Speaking of odd behavior, let's return to one of the series' most curious mysteries, the way some animals behave. Some are so human-like that we forget they're animals, while others act entirely wild. Can you figure this out? Take the zoo employees, for example. There's a lion that roars just at the sight of Madame's gazelle, and a crocodile that's supposed to be working but prefers lounging in the river. And it doesn't stop there. Mr. Fox, for instance, is always up to something shady, and it's pretty clear he was the one who almost ate Grandpa Pig's chickens. Even though Peppa and George didn't notice, we know Grandpa is keeping an eye on him, because trusting this neighbor is out of the question. Totally strange, don't you think? Teardrops. Here's a detail that's funny, but also raises a lot of questions. The way the characters cry. Whenever someone gets sad, it's this overly dramatic moment. But the real eye-catcher is how their tears don't fall downward. They shoot upward. That's right, upward. It's almost like they have garden sprinklers in their eyes. A good example of this happens in the episode where George and Richard Rabbit are playing but end up fighting and start crying. It's so bizarre that you can't help but wonder, does gravity work differently in Peppa's town? Nothing in this universe makes sense. Mummy Pig. Now let's talk about the ever-kind and caring Mummy Pig. While all the characters are drawn as animals, Mummy Pig has some features that leave the audience a bit puzzled, or at least curious, while other characters, like Madame Gazelle and Mr. Bull, have horns or other distinctly animalistic traits. Mummy Pig's body is surprisingly human. This becomes even more obvious when she's wearing more casual outfits, like a bikini. You can clearly see that her design is much more humanoid than that of a traditional pig. Was this done on purpose, or is it just a coincidence? Either way, it's a detail that raises some eyebrows. For those who are true Peppa fans, go ahead and click the subscribe button now and join our team of Peppa enthusiasts. Underground houses. Starting with a fun fact about the rabbit family. Did you know they live underground? Yes, while other characters live on mountains with stunning views that also protect them from floods, the rabbits chose to dig their homes into the ground. And this comes with consequences, like little Richard Rabbit being afraid of stairs. Can you believe it? Honestly, it's such a peculiar trait that makes me think this family needs to explore more of the world outside. Who knows? Maybe they'll be inspired to climb some mountains. The same name. Another hilarious detail in the Peppa Pig universe is the names of the characters. Have you noticed that their names usually match their species? Like Mr. Bull, Susie Sheep, Miss Rabbit, and so on. But here comes one of the biggest coincidences. When the pig family meets Mademoiselle Lapin, their French friend, a fascinating detail emerges. Her name translates to Miss Rabbit. So it seems that even in other countries, the logic of names remains consistent. Did anyone explain this to the original Miss Rabbit? Miss Rabbit. Speaking of her, Miss Rabbit is, without a doubt, one of the most multitasking characters in the series. She practically does everything you can imagine. This character works at the supermarket, the ice cream shop, drives buses, helps at the library, and after all that, still finds time to pilot helicopters. She's a lot like Larry from The Amazing World of Gumball, who has so many jobs that he ends up having a breakdown in one episode. Could Miss Rabbit be on the verge of her own existential crisis? Let's hope not. After all, if she stops working, Peppa's entire town would probably come to a standstill. Mr. Bull. Now, let's talk about a mystery. Mr. Bull is known for being the town's handyman, but there's something curious about him. He's always showing up at the school, yet he doesn't have any kids. In some scenes, he's there fixing something, but some say there's another reason. Remember Madame Gazelle? Well, there are rumors that they had a romance in the past. However, as we know, that's ancient history, because Mr. Bull got married in the movie released in 2024. That was an unexpected twist, right? Each mystery makes the show even more fun, don't you think? And if you also enjoy these incredible discoveries, we've got 2 videos below that were handpicked just for you. Just click on the one that seems most interesting and keep having fun with us. Thanks for watching, and enjoy the next video.